Hey YouTube, so I wanted to share with you today an article that I read because I was thinking about a time in my life where I suffered from really severe depression. And I know with the holidays coming around, um, a lot of times those feelings come back and really weigh you down. I just wanted to encourage you. Um, if you're in depression, get online and start reading some of this stuff. Back 30 years ago when I was suffering from depression, I didn't have the resources that are available to you now. And you can get some real good inspiration. Internet's really double-edged sword where you can get some really good inspiration or it can bring you down. But seek out inspiration. Seek out inspirations from people that conquered depression. Like this guy right here, Cameron Woodsum. I'll leave the link to this article down below so you can read it in entirety because I'm just going to go over it briefly. And it's the 6 key lessons I learned from conquering depression. And his first one is what I've always said, and is it's mind-altering drugs should be treated with extreme caution. That should be the last resort. Um, don't let anybody talk you into taking medication without exploring every single possible option there is. A lot of times medication just prolongs us, right? A lot of times when we're going through something, we're suffering through something, there's a reason for that. And it sometimes makes us stronger at the end if we don't use drugs or something like that um, to mask the symptom. You might come out on the other end stronger without any drugs if you seek out all the other ways to deal with what you're dealing with, to you know learn how to move forward without these drugs, because you know there's research on these drugs, but there is no long-term studies of how this is going to affect you. We you don't know these things until 100 years down the line and go, oh, that's what happened. So be very careful with any therapist or doctors wanting to treat your depression with drugs. Next one, adversity introduces a man to himself. This one is great because adversity and depression is adversity. Adversity is basically a problem. And what I find depression to be when I was going through it was finding out and becoming um, friends of self, becoming loving to yourself, because you don't feel it from the outside. You don't even feel it from the inside, but you have to learn it. And that's a huge thing that I got out of it, because nothing outwardly could make me happy, only I could. So that was a great one. Loyalty is one of the most undervalued human traits. This is 100%. There is very little loyalty in the world. And, this guy says he entered this dark phase of his life and lost my closest friends. I was a kid, so I only had a couple of friends, so I didn't lose them. But I could imagine if I went through this in my later age that this could possibly be a thing, because a lot of people today are, what can you do for me? And if you can't do for me, or you're not happy, so I don't want to be around you, because whatever you got might rub off on me, so screw you. And that's this is true, true, true. So make sure that the people you have around you are true people, and those are very, very difficult to find. Human conformity is a strange, potent force. And this is true because, you know, when I didn't think, when I was going through depression, I didn't think, we're talking sixth, seventh, eighth grade, even though I didn't go to eighth grade, but those age years, when a teenager's trying to find where he fits in, I fit in nowhere. So, that is very interesting. It's a real pressure on somebody that, who am I and where do I fit in this place? And I found I fit in nowhere in this place. So that was a very, very tough hurdle to overcome. And I had to settle in and just say, hey, I don't fit in, and that's okay. It's okay not to fit in. It's okay to be yourself. It's okay to be who you are. And if people don't like it, oh well. You really need to learn to love yourself and be content with yourself first. Number 5, and this is what I did eventually, is one of the best ways to alter happiness is by changing communities. It doesn't mean that you're going to become happy, but sometimes there's places in life where there's weight on your shoulders that you just need to get away from. And that's how I felt once I got a little bit older, like 18 years old. I just had this extreme feeling like I was in depression from like age 12 to 15, 16. And then from 16 to 18, I was okay because I got a job. I felt like I had some purpose, like I was going somewhere, and I did things and things like that. I got out of my little bubble. But at age 18, it was like that weight started coming back, and I said, you know what? I got to get out of here. And I left, and I moved to Fresno, California, from the Bay Area, which is Vallejo, California. And I spent about a year here, and then I moved back for like 3 months. I moved back to my dad's house. My dad bought a house, and it had a basement, so I was living in my dad's basement. And all that weight came back, and I was like, oh, I gotta get out of here. So I moved back, and I've been fine ever since. So sometimes you just gotta leave, whether it be a job, maybe a job is doing it. It could be school. School could be doing it. It could be the place you live. You just need a change of scenery. And sometimes that's enough to spark something inside you to keep moving forward. And that's really the key, is to keep moving forward. Don't get stuck in a rut. And 6, happiness is when expectations match reality. And this is a quote from Tony Robbins, is whenever you are happy with something in your life, it is because right now the conditions of your life match your blueprint or your beliefs about how life should be in that particular area. And happiness is what you make it. You make your reality. I've always said you can live in heaven or hell, and you can live it right here on earth. And it's what you make it. So anyway, I'm going to leave this down below. Leave me a comment. I'll leave a link down below to this in the comments, in the description box, so you can read through this whole thing. If you are suffering from depression, my encouraging word is just keep taking steps. If you keep taking steps, you'll finally figure out what it is that's missing in your life. Anyway, thank you for watching. And we'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye bye.